Yo, what up guys, OPTCG Daniel here, back at again with a deck profile video. So today we're gonna do a fun one. It is Red Black Sabo, 5000 power, 4 life, Don 1, opponent's turn once per turn. If your character with 5000 power or more would be KO'd, you may give that character minus 1000 power during the turn instead of that character being KO'd. So you have a protection if your character gets KO'd. It needs 1 Don. So be mindful that if you reduce it, they can just attack into it for lesser dons or higher attacks. So say if you have a 5000 power, you attack, they try to KO it, you will use the effect, it becomes a 4k. So you have to do a 2k if they attack with 5, and etc, etc. So be mindful of that, of course. But yeah, really fun deck. It's a cool combination, red and black. We had it with Garb, but Garb wasn't really that played, although it was a really dope color. But yeah, I am not playing the revolutionary type army list. I'm just playing a KO based list with the Straw Hat engine. So if you don't like it, you can click it away. But if you want to see it, definitely stay here. Yeah, so for our 1-cost cards, we play, of course, 4 times Otama. So like I said, we do a reduction KO list, so you need this card. It's a 2k counter. On play, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2000 power during this turn. So you can just reduce their attack and then use some KO effects, or use it for 2k counters, since your leader will reduce your cards, so you need some more counters. Then for our other 1 costs, we play, of course, 4 times Nami. So Nami is here because, like I said, we do play the Straw Hat engine, because red is good and Straw Hat is insane. Good combination. But yeah, on play, look at the 5 cards from top of your deck, add a Straw Hat type card, other than Nami, to your hand, place the remaining at the bottom. So you will definitely just hit always, because we do play a big package. For our 2 costs, we play 4 times Sanji. So Sanji is here for 2k counter, but also for decks that will starve you. If they won't attack you and your hand set is low, you can play this card, hope it survives, and then next turn activate main. Once per turn, you may add 1 card from top of your life area to your hand. This card gains 2 rested dons and also gets a 2k boost, so it's a 7k attacker for 1 life. So yeah, you can just swing for 7, take a life, refill your hand, and if not, use for 2k counter. Searchable by Nami, of course. Then for our last 2-cost cards, we do play 4 times Koala. This is basically just a Otama for a higher cost. It's a 2k counter also. All the 2ks are really good, sadly. On play, if your leader has the Revolutionary Army type trait, play this card and then it gets like 3000 power or less to a character. I don't remember, but it's like a better Otama for on play, give something minus 3k. So we do play KOs, so you can combo this with Otama, give something minus 5k for only 3 dons, and then you can use your other cards to KO it. And if not, 2k counter. Then for our 3-cost cards, we do play 4 times Rush Zoro. So Rush Zoro is here because, of course, Black Sakazuki is now really popular, so you want to swing directly because your cards will be removed, especially if they are low cost like this one. But still, if they try to KO it, you can just use your leader effect and protect it, make it a 4k. And then if they attack with leader into it, you have to discard a 2k instead of a 1k because it's 4, so it becomes 6, etc, etc. Do your math. But yeah, just play this, attack, and then you will need 1 don on your leader, of course, to make the protection effect active. Then we go into the black cards, the 4 costs and the 5 costs. So I will just show you the most annoying blockers in the entire game. That is, of course, 4 times Borsalino. We play 4 times Sabo. And we do play 4 times, of course, Hina. So these are the most annoying blockers in black, and you definitely want to add it to this list, because the Borsalino in your opponent's turn is a 6k blocker, cannot be KO'd by card effects, and in your turn it's just a 5-cost card, so you can attack with it. And in your opponent's turn it's a 6k, and then if they attack into it, you can just lower it with Sabo to protect it, makes it a 5, so it's easier to protect. Same for Sabo, blocker, but Sabo has an inbuilt effect. On play, draw 2 cards, trash 2 cards, and then all the cards currently on the field, including Sabo, will be protected until the start of your next turn. So in your turn and in your opponent's turn, they cannot be KO'd by card effects. So that's really good, but do be mindful. It's only for the current cards on the field. So if you play Sabo and then you play a card after that, that card is not protected. And then you play Hina. On block, you can just, let me read the card again. Select up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 6 or less. That character cannot attack this turn. So basically it's just like a Badge, but then on block. So these 12 cards are the most annoying blockers. And then with your leader effect, they're even more annoying because you can use them as attackers. And then, yeah, the Hina is just to seal the deal. So, good cards. And if you cannot afford or you don't have the Porcelino, you can play the 3-cost black blocker that cannot be KO'd. Fukuro or Fukuro or something, I don't remember. But yeah, now we go into the 5 costs. We do play 4 times 5 drop or 5 cost Marco. This card is even more stickier with your leader because your turn on play, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 3000 power or less. And then on a KO, you may trash 1 event card from your hand. This card comes back from the trash rested. So, yeah. If you don't have any event cards and it gets KO'd, you can just use your leader effect, make it a 5k. So it will be a little bit easier to defend if they attack into it. Just use your 2k or your other event cards. And then if it gets KO'd, you can just discard an event card, get it back. So it is kind of like a 2 times sticky card. And then for our last 5 cost, we play 2 times Monkey D. Luffy Rush. So because it's a blocker format, in my opinion, with Sakazuki and with with Purple Luffy, they all play a lot of blockers. So this card you definitely need to avoid the blockers because it's a 5 cost 6k rush, 2 dons, so they need 2 dons attached. When attacking, your opponent cannot activate a blocker. So if you play this, attach the 5 remaining dons, it becomes 11k, so you can swing for 11k if you're lucky, if they don't have enough cards, or you can just attach 2, make it 8, and then swing on 2 cards that are 6 to let them KO it or be emptied by the hand to discard counters. And then for our events, we only play 2 times Radical Beam. We do play the 12 most annoying blockers in the game, so I think you can kinda cut on the Radical Beam. You can definitely cut the last card if you want to add 2 more Radical Beams, but I think 2 is fine in this build. It's a 1 cost counter. Your leader or one of your characters gains 2000 power during this turn. Then if you have 2 or less life cards, that card gains an additional 2000 power. So if you are like 2 and below, it becomes a 4k counter. Really good. And then trigger. Your leader or one of your characters gains 1000 power during this turn. So say if your opponent has a massive board for all 5k attacks, and they swing with the leader first or with the cards first, you trigger this, your leader becomes a 6k, so all those cards cannot attack if they have no dons, so be mindful of that. The trigger can come up sometimes, like against Red, Purple Law. They play a lot of 5k bodies. And then for our 2 costs, we do play the new 2-time Fire Fist. Why? Because it's a reduction. For 2, you can main give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 4000 power during this turn. Then if you have 2 or less life cards, KO up to one of your opponents with a 0 power or less. And then trigger is activate this main card effect. So you can use it to KO the Rebecca blocker because it's already at 0, or some other annoying cards. But you want to use it mainly for the reduction. And then you can just play the Marco to KO something or some other cards. So we do have a lot of deduction power in this deck. And then for our 3 costs, we do play, of course, the Fire Fist. Like I said, we are a KO deck. Yeah, this is the OG Fire Fist. Not the Sabo fake one, but hey. 3 costs, main, you may trash an event card, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a 5000 power and a 4000 power or less cards. So if you reduce something, you can clear 2 bodies on the field if you're lucky, and then the trigger is KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 5000 power or less. So this card's really good because we do play a lot of events, and if not, you can just discard it for the Marco, of course, but you can combo this off with all the deduction cards. So like if they have a 9000 power, like I say Yamato, and you're at 5 dons, or at 10, which you are, then you play this, the Yamato becomes a 5k, you can play this, trash another event card, and then KO it with a other body. So it's really good, and also you can just get rid of all the high cost cards, also of the Big Mom, but you have to do more cards for that. And then for our last 4 cards, we play 4 times Gum Jet Pistol. I like this card because it has an insane trigger. Trigger, activate this card's main effect, and of course the main effect is KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 6,000 power or less. So playing this is really expensive because it's a 4 cost, so if you get it from life, always trigger it. You can KO Borsalinos with it because it's in their turn if you trigger it from life, but if you play this, then of course you cannot KO the KO cards. But yeah, you can, maybe if you want to cut 2 of these to add a Radical Beam or some other cards, but I think 2 is fine, and this is also pretty fine, because you want to make your opponents fear your life, so they have to play around it, attach dons on your card to keep their newly played characters alive, so they have less don to work with. So yeah, that's a quick, weird deck profile for Sabo. I like this deck. This is definitely my fun deck on the sim. I play this a lot. It's really fun and really frustrating for your opponents to deal with the most annoying blockers and also with the leader effect. So yeah, if you guys have any other tips or if you want to see the other build, the Revolutionary Army, let me know. But yeah, if you guys like the video, give it a like. If you dislike it, dislike it. If you want to see more content, subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.